Hello everyone. So today again we are back with DVWA. Today I am going to talk about file upload. If you don't know about file upload vulnerability, basically it is a case where you are allowed to upload a file to web server, but there is no check on the kind of file that you are uploading, and hence you are able to upload malicious files which allow you access to the server. So we will see how this works. If you let's first create a file. So user share web shells. Here you will find few PHP web shells. I'll copy one of these. I think one of the most common ones being PHP reverse shell. I'll copy it to my home folder and I will just rename it as a.php. Let's say I wanted to copy it, not open it. Copy PHP reverse shell to a.php, and then I will change this and I will do check my IP address. I'll use the 172 IP address because I am running this on Docker. So I will use 17.0.1. Now the only thing I need to change here is basically this 172.17.0.1 and port number I will make it as 8001. That's all that I need to change here, and then save it. And then I'll start nc-lvnp 8001. This is the listener that I am starting, where I'll get the callback from my reverse shell. So if we go back here, we can only see all files here, which should be fine, but I have to go to my root folder because that's where I created it. I will have permissions. Okay, I have permissions. So I am uploading a.php. Then let's say upload, and we can see that it is giving me this path, right? So we will copy this current path first and open it in a new terminal, and then go back here and copy this path. Okay, so here we can see that it was two paths above, so I will remove upload and vulnerabilities and paste the path that we had, and I get a shell here. So as you can see, I have got a shell here which is with Apache user and Apache group, and I should be able to do pretty much everything that I want. I can actually start a bash here, but if you see, I am not able to do anything, and if I close this, then everything goes away. So for this we can use Python. Let me see if we have Python installed here. I think Python is not there. Python 3 is also not there. Python 3 is there, luckily. Okay. So if Python 3 is there, I can do this Python 3 -c import pty dot spawn spawn bin bash. Okay. So now we are in bash. Generally there is a trick to set your stty terminal also, but I generally never go that way, and generally pty is sufficient. If you want tab completion and all other things, you can background this with Control Z and then do that, but I'm not going that path. But you get the idea. Now you are in a bash shell, and now you can do your privilege escalation from here, or you can start another script from here which can give you a better reversal or do a persistent sessions for yourself, right? So that's one thing, but what would be more interesting is to see how we can get some other things, right? So for that I have a very good resource that I would like to share with you, and this is this 10x web cell. You can just do a git clone and paste that. So this will basically get all the web shells that we have in this folder, and let me open this. Dolphin, no, Nemo, I don't know which file browser I have. Okay, which one is this? This is some mate thing. That's okay. We will go from here. Not here. File system, root, web cell. So this is an amazing collection of web cell. If you didn't know about this, it has PHP, PL, PY, and few others, right? So we can, for example, go to PHP web shells, and here you will find so many different web shells that you can use. This is very similar to what we have done earlier, but here you can use one of these web shells and get a more useful and easy to use web shell. This is what this can be used for, and it has web cells for basically everything that you can think of: ASPX, JSP, JSPX, and a few others. The other one that you can use is Weebly. If you run just Weebly, it will show you how to generate a Weebly shell. So I can say Weebly generate password, let's say 1 2 3 4 5, and path is a.php. It will generate a.php with password 1 2 3 4 5, and then I can go back to my file upload, browse a.php, upload, and the file has been uploaded, right? So now I can say Weebly, and then I have to give the URL, which is the same URL that I was using earlier in the browser, and then I need to give the password, which is 1 2 3 4 5, and I should get a Weebly session. Now I can use help command to see what all commands are supported by Weebly, and you can see here that I can do a shell su system info and shell procs and certain other things, right? So if I just say system procs, it will run ps minus eaf for me, and I don't have to worry about actually going into a shell. So similarly, I can do file ls, and it will show me ls in the current directory. So what you are seeing here is the system command that it will use, and then this is the Weebly command that you can use in the Weebly shell. So you also get a nice description of what you can do with this. For example, bypass disable function restrictions with mod CGI and .htaccess. It has few other functions which you cannot directly use, right? So if you want to do a backdoor TCP or backdoor reverse TCP, it already has all those things, and you can directly use those functions rather than typing the whole command. For example, netcurl netif config. So if I type netif config, I don't need this, I guess. I am not in Weebly shell, that's why. Let's go again. So those commands will work when you are in Weebly, right? Otherwise it will go into a shell. So If it is in shell, then those will not work, is what I am trying to tell you. ifconfig will not work because we don't have ifconfig on this machine, as I mentioned you earlier as well. So let's try the system info. Yeah, so this will show you the system info, like what is your document root, who am I, host name, few of the useful things which you might want to collect as soon as you get a shell on the web server, right? So these are some of the good functions that you will get here. So this is the Weebly shell. Weebly is a program that you can directly install on Kali, on Parrot, or any of those operating systems. But if you are not interested in generating a Weebly shell, then definitely you can go and have a look at these shells and use any of the ones that you really want to use. And it also lists a lot of other web shell projects which you can go and look at if you want to have a look at those. And it has some release pages, but since this is completely a source code thing, I don't really see a reason why you would want to go to a release and direct download it from there. In fact, if you directly download it as a git clone, then you can update it whenever you want to, and you don't really have to really go and download the thing again from a web browser. So that's all I had for today. Thank you very much.